अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः, गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी, विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्णः परमात्मने नमः। अथाष्टमोऽध्यायः। अर्जुन उवाच किं तद्ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मं किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम, अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम् अधिदैवं किमुच्यते, अधियज्ञः कथं गोत्र देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन, प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेयोऽसि नियतात्मभिः। अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमं श्रीभगवानुवाच अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमं स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते, भूतभावोद्भवकरः विसर्गः कर्म संज्ञितः, अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः पुरुषश्चादिदैवतम्, अधियज्ञोऽहमेवात्र देहे देहभृतां वर, अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं, यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः, यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं, तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः। तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः, मामे वैष्यस्य संशयम् अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना, परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्, कविं पुराणम् अनुशासितारम् अणोरणीयान् समनुस्मरेद्यः, सर्वस्य धातारमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्, प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव, भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यं, यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागाः, यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं संग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये, सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुध्य च, मूर्ध्न्याधायात्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणाम्, ओमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्म व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन्, यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहं स याति परमां गतिम्, अनन्यचेताः सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः, तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः, मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतं, नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः, आब्रह्मभुवनाल्लोकाः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन, मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते, सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् अहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः, रात्रियुगसहस्रान्ता देहोरात्रविदो जनाः अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्त्यः रागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसंज्ञके भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यः रागमे परस्तस्मात्तु भावोऽन्यः अव्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यस्य सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम पुरुषः स परः पार्थ भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्यया यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि येन सर्वमिदं ततं यत्र काले त्वनावृत्तिम् आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ. Okay. So after a long gap, we are continuing more or less 1 month. So for my own revision, I will quickly take from the first shloka till what we have completed, a quick synopsis. Okay. And then we will continue with the shlokas. 8th chapter. So the Ashtamodhyaya is something which is coming from the 7th chapter at the end, where Arjuna says, Jaramarana mokshaya mam ashritya yatanti ye te brahma tadviduh krishnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. So he put this adhyatmam, karma, brahma, all these new concepts. Then sadhibhuta adidaivam adiyajnam prayanakale api. Okay, so what is all this? He has put some new concepts in Arjuna's mind, that those people who are jnani and who are got moksha, for them these are very easy. So now all these new technical terms have become a question mark to Arjuna. Suddenly, out of the blue, this 7 or 8 new concepts are coming out. So obviously the 8th chapter starts with that. Arjuna asks the question, what are you referring to? Kim tad brahma, kim adhyatmam, kim karma, adibhutam kim, adhidaivam kim proktam, okay, adiyajnaha katham, kaha atra dehesmin, kaha atra dehesmin, prayanakale cha katham. So these are the questions which have been asked very clearly by Arjuna, for which Bhagavan starts. He quickly gives short answer in brief, quickly, and completes all the questions, and then he takes up Prayanakale as a concept which he wants to explain now. Why Prayanakale is explained here? Because there is no other place where Prayanakale can come. This is the befitting place in the Bhagavad Gita where Prayanakale can come. That is why he put this. And as Bhagavad Gita is Sarveshu Vedasu Sarvasu Upanishatsu Shruti Smriti Purana, it is a Sankshipta version of it. So you cannot miss anything in the Vedas, and Prayanakala is there in the Vedas, and hence he has taken it up at this place. And as we know, the 7th chapter and the 9th chapter again goes back to Advitiya Jnanam, Advaita Jnanam. Moving to that, so the 8th chapter is a deviation which is referring to all this and talking about Prayanakala. Now what is Prayanakala going to tell us? What is Prayanakala going to give us? What knowledge is the Veda going to give us, or the Smriti going to give us in Prayanakala through Krishna or Vyasa? what happens to a jiva after death. Prayana means at the time of death. What happens? Because this is something which people do not know. The Vedas are not going to tell something which you know. The Vedas are obviously going to tell something which you do not know, or you seemingly feel that you know it. So here this information is not available, and hence the Veda Mata is going to give this information through the Shruti and the Smriti, and that Shruti Jnanam is being taken by Vyasacharya and made it into a simplified Smriti Jnanam which is coming out of the mouth of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Okay. So Prayana Kalam, why it needs to be needed? The question is why you need to even consider this Prayana Kalam. Because how many types of people are there? Jnani, Ajnani. Okay. So people who are Jnani, for them Prayana Kala is required or not? What is Prayana Kala going to tell you? What is it going to give you? So what is it called? Prayana Kala. After that moksham, if you are going to get post your death, the path, the method for it, what is it called? It's called Krama Mukti. So Prayana Kala topic is going to give you Krama Mukti. For a Jnani is Krama Mukti meaningful. Say yes, you have to clarify why. If you say no, again you have to clarify why. Come on, someone from here also. Slowly start scratching your head. Chutti over. Go back to 1 month back. For a Jnani is Krama Mukti meaningful.
I have not attended the previous class, but is it okay to speak?
So far as it is within the context, yes.
Jnani's body is, this thing is totally, body mind complex is totally irrelevant. So Brahma Mukti is not relevant because, he doesn't have, apart from his consciousness relationship, he doesn't have any sort of a direction in terms of mind.
So Jnani gets what Mukti? What is Jivan Mukti?
Even while living life, he is a mukta.
What is it?
What is related to his body mind complex?
So what is the difference between Krama Mukti and Jivan Mukti? When? Correct. And then? So what do you get in Brahmaloka? Why do you have to go there? To get Mukti. Mukti from what? Rebirth is for what? Rebirth means you are connected to what? Already answers have come. He has already given the correct answer. Why do you want to go to Brahmaloka?
To learn from Brahman.
And then?
And you become again a mukta.
Huh? Correct. So Jnanam is going to give moksham. Moksham from what? From body-mind complex basically. So you need a body-mind complex to go there and learn. How will you learn otherwise? Not this body-mind and complex. Some body-mind and complex will be there in that form. Otherwise, how will you learn? There is no, without a medium you can't learn.
For Jnani, it's not required.
So for a Jnani, is this body-mind complex there? Where he is connected, or she is connected. Correct? So Jivan Mukta means what? Disconnected from this body-mind complex here and now when I am alive. So why does he need a death and then a jnanam to disconnect when he is already disconnected here. Are you able to get that? So for is Krama Mukti relevant to a jnani? Still confused.
Not relevant.
Jnani is jnani.
What is the purpose of jnana?
But Krama Mukti to understand.
No, what is the purpose of jnana? Wherever, either here or there. Correct. So if he has already got the moksha, what is the use of jnanam then? Jnanam is also meaningless now. Moksha is already achieved. Then why does he need to wait for post-death and then go Krama Mukti and all forward? He is already mukta. Here and now. For a person who has already passed 10th standard, why does he have to wait for June for the result to come? Those who have given the exam only, they have to wait till June for the result to come, right? He has already got the result here. Why should he wait for that? So, Krama Mukti is irrelevant to a jnani. Correct? So, it is relevant to whom? Ajnani. Very clear? Those people who do not have Brahmajnanam, only it is relevant. Now, what type of people are there who have got Brahmajnanam, who do not have Brahmajnanam and who are yearning for the Brahmajnanam to get moksha? Jnyasu. Correct? Okay. Now, there are people who are not at all aware of something like this, who are Arthagamis. For them is Krama Mukti relevant? They can still go means when will someone go? See, it is like saying that, I will tell you something. In Chennai there is a Lulu mall. I sitting in Bombay, what is the use for me? You understand? In Dubai there is a big Burj Khalifa. What is the use of it? Me sitting here and even thinking about it if I am not even interested to go there. So for a Arthagami, for them there is nothing called moksha. There is nothing called bandhana. They are so ignorant that they don't know what is bandhana also. Then the question doesn't come of moksha. So for them is Krama Mukti relevant? First of all, if we are accepting that all have to pass through that cycle, it is wrong. For a person who has not even completed Montessori and junior KG, for that person is graduation relevant or not? We are not saying he cannot continue to live, let him live. There are so many animals, there are so many other things who are living peacefully. He or she will continue to live peacefully, continue to die, continue to come back to samsara ignorantly. The cycles will continue that way, but they are ignorant about it. Then for whom it is meaningful, who know how these cycles are, who want to know more about these, and then who want to direct themselves post-death, so that they benefit out of it. Correct? So it is relevant for whom? Jijnasu and Dharmika people who are interested and who are knowing that there is something called bandhana and moksha and I am interested in moksha, which is Jijnasu. Is it clear? Okay. Now for a Jijnasu, if that person is interested in Krama Mukti, what type of Jijnasu can be there? How many types of Jijnasus can be there? Who is a Jijnasu? Let us go by a very simple word rather than this word called Jijnasu. Who is a Jijnasu?
Person who's curious.
Striving for
Striving, correct? So let us imagine that someone is striving to get this Vedanta Jnana. Correct? What is the first step for that person? What is the first step?
You have a lot of questions.
What is the first step? What is the direction given? Shravanam, the first step. What? Karma for what? For what? Purpose. Question is purpose is what? Karma for what? To achieve what? What is the goal?
Mental social.
What is that called? Correct? Chitta Shuddhi. So, karma for Chitta Shuddhi. Correct? Then after Chitta Shuddhi, what? Okay, everything is now pure, clean. Now what? Why Krama Mukti? Before that, what is the next step? Okay, I've completely cleaned myself. I did this cleaning for what? Jnana Yogyata. And once I got Jnana Yogyata, then what I will do? If I got IIT entrance exam, if I pass, then what next? What next? If I pass the IIT entrance exam, what next? Go to IIT and study. Correct? So you need a teacher. And then what is that studying part called? After Jnana Yogyata, what is this called? Jnanam. Jnanam is through what? Correct? Tell. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Okay. By doing that, what will that person get? With Jnanam, what will happen? What is the ultimate culmination of this Jnanam? Jivan Mukti. Where? Here and now. There will be some people who miss this. What for them? Now you understand? If someone, not that everyone are going to get, because what is this Jnanam and this Moksha which is told? Durlabhat Durlabham, it is very tough. So then you are going to get en masse people who are going to fail here. The design is maximum failures and very few you can hand pick people who will pass them. Is it clear? That means what are you going to do to this en masse? Now out of this complete mass, you have a major chunk of people, 90%, unaware of everything. Side pair approach, for them no trouble. Then out of this 10%, there will be very few, maybe 1% who will get Jivan Mukti here. Then there is 9% of the people who are Jijnasu, who have missed this opportunity here. For them what? Krama. Is it clear? The purpose of Krama Mukti should be clear why it is brought here. Is it clear? That is why this 8th chapter it has to be brought here, and we are saying. Unless it is brought here, it is clear that the Vedas will consider everyone and all possibility. जिसको कुछ नहीं आता है, उसको छोड़ दिया अर्थ कामो बोल के. That cycle will continue. They have told that. They have not told that that is good or bad, but they are considered. Then who are Jivan Mukti, very much considered. Then there are in between people. That is why he calls Yoga Brashta in the 4th chapter. He has in the 6th chapter, what happens for Yoga Brashta? Someone misses out. He says he will come the proper kula and all. He will come back and that. Correct? Now for him to come, there has to be a path. Either he comes back. Yoga Brashta comes back. But a Brahmajnani who wants will have to go to Brahmaloka, and from there Brahmaji will teach and he will get Krama Mukti. Is it clear? Now there are possibilities that someone passes that or someone is not eligible also for that. That two options will come now. Are you able to get this? Not everyone who is a Jijnasu and who has missed Jivan Mukti will get Krama Mukti. Opportunity for Krama Mukti. Who will get an opportunity for this Krama Mukti? See, you have to keep seeing this big set. There is the whole population of human being, 90% gone off. Now this 1% gone off. Now this 9% may, what stages people will be? All will be into Jnana. Then someone would have just entered, someone would be midway, someone would be at really right. So what are those? So if you know that in this, to get Jivan Mukti, what is the step? First is Karma Yoga, second is Jnana Yoga. So, which means the Vedas have to consider if people are with Karma Yoga, what will happen Prayana Kali? If people are with Jnana Yoga, who have already completed Karma and who are into Jnana Yoga but not got Jnanam, what will happen in Prayana? Are you able to get this? नहीं समझा? Huh? Because in these two categories will come now. Only two are possible. Anyone who is not even into this are already removed out. Anyone who has completed is also removed out. Is it clear? It is something like how only S is Brahmana, only T is Shudra, S and R का दो आता है ना, वैश्य और क्षत्रिय. ये वैसा लोग बैठा है जो दोनों, ये थोड़ा भी है, ये थोड़ा भी, तो now both cannot be treated the same way. So now how it will take, and hence the Krama Mukti for all these people. Okay, out of that, where will the focus be more? If the topic is Krama Mukti, and then you are going to say that after death this is the path, the focus will be out of these two groups. For which group more? Not the people who are done with karma. So they will just mention that and close that. Because that person will come back, and because of his punya karma of chitta shuddhi will get an improved ecosystem by which jnanam can so slowly will get promoted in this bhuloka into a better situation. Are you able to foresee this? See, these cycles have to be foreseen that way. Then only you know what to do, where to. नहीं तो किधर से किधर भी जा सकते नहीं है. They are all logical. Who are into arthakama, if they somewhere think about it, will slowly come to chitta shuddhi. Who are in chitta shuddhi will go to jnanam. Who are in jnanam will go to jnana jivan mukti. Who miss out jivan mukti, who are in jnana will go to krama mukti. People who are at chitta shuddhi will come back in a particular krama mukti back to bhuloka, so that they enhance themselves. Are you able to get these cycles? What are they? And all these are considered in this particular chapter. Okay, but the emphasis will be for what? Because prayana kale the question is asked. The question is very clearly kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama. In that context, when Brahma and Prayana Kala is said very clearly, it is supposed to be Krama Mukti. So for Krama Mukti will be detailed out there. Okay, and people who are coming back will be just mentioned and then it comes. So what he is saying is, okay, so Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Now he starts from here because there has to be a reference point. Krishna has to start. Prayana kala is what? What is Prayana kala? Journey. Time of journey. Journey means what? Death. So at Prayana kala, if you are going to say, it has to start from this birth at the time of death. Okay. So he starts from that point because that is the reference, and from that it will keep going till wherever the end gati goes, sadgati, whatever, either coming back or till getting Brahmaloka, both. Right? So he says, Antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. So the person who is remembering me, so see, for every theory there has to be a practical application. Only when you have a practical app to it, you can really make use of the theory. The theory is a concept. Otherwise, if the theory doesn't have any practical application, that theory is useless. Let's be clear. We have to practice it, then the practical applicability comes, right? So the practical applicability of moksha for a Jivan Mukta at now is what? The Jnanam itself is Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva Kaleva. A Jivan Mukta dies, or his Ajnanam dies at the time of Jnana. Yes or no? His body will be there, everything will be there, but his Ajnanam is dead. So it is Prayanakala for that person at that moment. Which means what? From that time itself, all ahead till this body is there, he will be with what? Smaran Muktva, only thinking about Ishvara, no other thought. That is that Tambura Shruti. So he says, Antakale, if you are able to think about me at the time of death at least, then you will reach me. Although that's a practical application, it's a very, very low probable possibility. Why? Throughout the Janma, I have never done it. So at that time, where will that come in my mind? So this is exactly the same thing happening to a Jivan Mukta at that time of Jnanama. After that, that Jivan Mukta is always in the mind only Tambura Shruti is Ishvara and Aham Brahmasmi, Jnana will be there. Are you able to get that? That change has to happen, then only it is called moksha. Mental change has to completely happen. It's like complete blood transfusion, new person. Okay, so Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaf prayati sa madbhavam na yati nas tatra samshayaha. He gives an assurance. Don't doubt this. If at the time of death, if you are only thinking about me, you will attain me. Means what? If you are thinking about Ishvara, Nirguna Brahma, you will only attain Nirguna Brahma, means you will get moksha straight. How will you get moksha? That means there is dot dot in between. Brahmaloka, Brahmaji, teaching from that book. Okay, but to start it, he has given a very clear, okay, this is the direction you have to go. Is this clear? Then he says, okay, let me go one step and let me clarify one rule to you. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever is in your mind at the time of death, that and that only will happen to you. So he now gives the general principle because he gave an application. Now he says, oh my God, this person may not know the rule. So let me first tell the rule. So if in the time of death, if you feel, oh, these children and all, let them go to hell. They are not even giving me water. Oh yeah, you will also go to hell. Samajh mein aa raha hai? So to train yourself, now that is because at the time of death, as I mentioned, it is not going to be any, your senses would have withdrawn, all those things would have been there, you will not have control, but still at that time, if it has to come, how much it should have been practiced when you are capable of controlling it. Okay, that controls is what he says. That is why he says, Tasmat, hence, Sarveshu Kaleshu, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. So at all times, only remember me and continue this fight in your life. That Dvandva fight is always on in your life. You continue with that fight. Don't worry at all about it. Mayyarpita mano buddhihi mame vaishyasya samshaya. So once you have completely submitted your manas and buddhi to me, then you don't worry. It is my responsibility. Submitting means what? Completely not having any ahankara. That is submission. How do you get it? Abhyasa yoga yuktena cetasa nanya paramam purusham divyam yati parthanu chintayan. Only and only answer is Abhyasa yoga. You will not get it how much ever you plan. All that consultancy theory, keep it aside. You have to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice, keeping in your mind the goal that I want Jivan Mukti now. If I miss now, I have the only chances Prayana Kala that I should not miss. Are you able to get this? So it is, you don't plan Prayana Kala, you plan Jivan Mukti now. If I miss Jivan Mukti, you say na, मार्च का एग्जाम में नहीं हुआ तो चलो यार एटलीस्ट एक बैकअप अक्टूबर में एक एग्जाम. यू डोंट प्लान फॉर एन अक्टूबर, यू प्लान फॉर मार्च. मिस आउट हुआ तो अक्टूबर में एक एग्जाम है. सेम वे यू प्लान जीवन मुक्ति. मिस आउट हुआ तो प्रयाण काल में आई कैन गो टू ब्रह्मलोक. दैट ऑप्शन आई हैव, आई कैन एक्सरसाइज एंड आई एम मच prepared for it. That is why a person who is well prepared for the Jivan Mukti and misses out for some reason has no problem, because you know all the efforts have been put and that will continue. Are you able to get this? Right? Okay. Then he says, why you need that?
Sir, questions are almost.
No questions. No questions now. First listen. Then he says, Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. Because now he is going, what have you to keep? Mam Anusmara means what? What is this mom? Is this little baby Krishna? Is it Rukmani Satyabhama Sameta Santana Gopala Krishna? Is it Radha Mohana Krishna? What Krishna are you referring to? Is it Rama? Which Rama? Ayodhya Rama? Dasharatha? What Sitapati Rama? Whom are you referring to? So he is making it very clear. No, not Saruna Ishvara. It has to be only Nirguna. Manusmara means you can make a mistake. That you have to only focus at this embodied Krishna. No, not Saruna. It has to be Nirguna. That is why he clarifies. What type of Nirguna Ishvara or Nirguna Brahman? Kavim, Puranam, Anushasitaram, Anoraniyan, Samanusmaredya, Sarvasya Dhataram, Achintya Rupam, Aditya Varnam, Tamasah Parastar. All qualities of Nirguna Brahman. Even saying that qualities of Nirguna Brahman is absolutely wrong. Because if you say Nirguna Brahman, where can qualities come? But there has to be a way of expressing what it is, and it is by the way of negation. So, Puranam Achintya Rupam. You talk of which is not possible, which is not this, which is not this, that type you are referring to Nirguna Brahman. And then he says, that Brahman Prayanakale Manasa Achalena Bhaktya Yukto Yoga Balena Chaiva. Now he gives a procedure and protocol what you have to do. Because if you have been doing so much of meditation, so much of upasana, you will 100% know when your prayana kala comes. It is impossible for a person who is doing so much of sadhanas not to know when prayana kala comes. Because prayana kala is a very, very minor thing. When a person is doing sadhana, they know very, very clear. They are much more sensitive of atindriya things. So these indriya related issues are very, very small. Okay. So once you know that you are going to die, because that is a natural one. Urvarukami vabandhanat. Be prepared. What do you do? Manasa achalena bhaktya yuktaha. Yoga balena. Because of your yoga bala and because of your tapas what you have done, bring what? Bhruvor madhye pranamaveshya. Get this? Shatam nadya hridaya pranaha. That all the 100 nadis which goes to the hridaya, from that bring it to the Bhruvor madhye, and Satam param purusham upaiti. Param purusham, not the purusham. Param purusham is Brahman, Parabrahman. Okay. Upaiti divyam. Okay. Now, again he clarifies. Don't by mistake get into Saguna. Because you are talking of Nirguna and trying to keep your mind stuck into the Nirguna Brahman, unknowingly Saguna Ishvara will come there. He says, what is that Brahman? Yad Aksharam Veda Vido Vadanti. What is Aksharam? Naksharati iti Aksharaha. Aksharam Brahma Paramam. You have to connect it that way. The topic started that way. This chapter is called Akshara Brahma. So, which is that? Yad Aksharam. That Aksharam, don't consider it to be alphabet here. That which cannot be perishable. Aksharam. Veda Vido Vadanti. Learned people talk about. Vishanti Yad Yatayo Vitaragaha. Yadichanto Brahmacharyan Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pramakshe. I am referring to that particular Brahman where Veda Vido Vadanti, all the learned people who refer to Brahman as that. Vishanti Yad Yatayo Vitaragaha, the one who has removed all the Raga Dvesha, and without that individuality, what they refer to is that Brahman. Yad Ichanto Brahmacharyan Charanti, all the yogis have put a lot of tapasya and brahmacharya vratam to attain this particular Brahman. Tatte Padam, that Brahman, I will tell you. When he says I will tell you in 11, I am going to tell you later. Okay. Then he comes back, and so these 2 shlokas or 3 shlokas are referring to that aksharam. Then he comes back to the protocol again. What was the protocol earlier? Abhyasa yoga yuktena or tasmat sarveshu here bruvor madhye pranam aveshya samyak. That was the protocol, correct? He again comes back. Sarvadvarani sanyamya manohridi nirudhya cha murdhnyadhayatmanah pranam asthito yoga dharanam. Okay. Get into that protocol where your mind is completely connected only and only. And it's like Arjuna. I don't know. But are you seeing it? If it is connected, it will be there. Yes, it is connected. YouTube is connected. It should be 45 minutes of the show. So, Murdhyadayatmana prana astito yoga dharanam. Now, once you get the prana there, then what should you focus on? Because he said Kavimpuranam Anushasitaram, he moved away from that. And now he is coming back. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mamanuswaran Yah Prayati Tyajan Deham Sayati Paramangatim Iti Eka Aksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mam Anuswaran. That Eka Aksharam Brahman Yo Vedado Swara Prokto Vedante Cha Pratishtita Tasya Prakriti Nasya Yah Para Samaheshwara. That Om which denotes that Nirguna Brahman, only that should be there. Again, it is not that Aksharam Om, the alphabet Om. It is not that Rupa of Om. It is not the color of Om. It is Om iti Eka Aksharam Brahma, which is the Dhvani. The first one is Dhvani. Om Dhvani. Okay. And Om is completely explained in Mandukya Upanishad. Akara, Ukara, Makara, and then, so all the details will come in that. Bhagavad Gita hardly touches Om. It only mentions Om. All these are part of Upanishads. Okay. So what is Om? How do you do Upasana in Om? All this will come in Upanishads. Okay. And Om is explained very much in many Upanishads. He says that Om, if you keep it in your mind after and completely focus on that, then he says Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha. How can that Om be in your mind without without shaking? At the time of Prayana Kale, getting all the Yoga Bala there, and it should be there. How can it be steadfast? The only answer is Ananya Chetaha Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha. At all times, the one who is completely only thinking about me, for him, Aham Sulabhaha, I am very easily achievable to that person. Nitya Yuktasya Yogina, you have to be Nitya Yukta Yogi for that. No other requirement is there. That means at that time, whatever you do, all the gimmicks of getting prana, doing that, this, if you have not practiced it across, it will not happen. In fact, at that time you will be stressed. Oh, why that Om is not coming to my mind? Over. Dum, Gaya Prana. Govinda, Venkatramana, Govinda, Lord. समझ में आ रहा है? So it has to come naturally, Sulabha. And how it comes? Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha Nityashaha Mam Smaran. At all times. So it becomes a secondary personality, or my primary personality becomes that I am always thinking about Ishvara at all times. That Tambura Shruti is going on and Vyavahara continues outside. Are you able to get that? Then he says, what is the benefit of attaining me? Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramangataha. He is now very clearly clarifying that Krama Mukti is going to give the same benefit as Jivan Mukti, that once you attain me, you are out of this samsara. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam samsara, you will give it, drop it. Why he has to tell? Because Arjuna is sitting in Dukkhalayam ashashvatam and he is asking, should I fight or not? Okay. Now to confirm this, he says, if you do anything else other than this, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam na apnuvanti. If you completely submit to me and then if you attain me, I will ensure that you will never enter back into this dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Okay. And paramangataha, you will be into that path of mukti, which is called krama mukti. He says, in case you miss this, in case you miss this, means what? You missed Jivan Mukti. I gave you another chance, Krama Mukti. You missed that also. And if you think that because I have done all these things and I will surely, somehow with time I will anyway, people say that, kuch nahi to time will take care of it. Kaisa bhi to milega. For that he gives an answer in this couple of shlokas saying that, be clear, it is going to be impossible that time will give it. Because what time gives is only attachment. Your efforts is going to give this detachment. And if your efforts did not give that, you will get a chance, but you may get wavered. So he says, please understand, Abrahma bhuvana lokat punaravartinorjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Abrahma bhuvana lokat, these people who are born, or this jivas, including a mosquito, amoeba, everyone. Abrahma bhuvana loka, the srishti which is done by Brahmaji and all the jivas which are there, punaravartinaha, they keep on coming and going, they keep on coming and going. But on the other hand, mamupetya tu kaunteya, one who reaches me, for that person punarjanma na vidyate. See, for you all and all, you all know this because you all are jnanis, but Arjuna doesn't know this. So he has to be told what is the benefit of this jnanam. So he is telling the benefit of jnanam very clearly. That no punarjanma will be given. No punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare. He is already done. Kripaya pare, pahi murare is taken care of it now. Okay. In case you miss it, you will be in this sorry go round. How long? How long? Sahasra yuga pariyantam aharyat brahmano viduhu. Knowledgeable people say that thousands of yuga, this Brahmaji's ayu is. Okay. Ratrim yuga sahasrantan deho ratra vidojana. There is a ratri, there is a warning. Like that, we have already seen those calculations. I am not going to repeat it. Like that, Brahmaji is 1 day is there, 1 night is there. Like that, Brahmaji is after 1 day, 365 days will make 1 year, and like that, 100 years of Brahmaji. And then that Brahmaji will go and new Brahmaji will come. Till all this time, how many pralayas are going to be there? Mahapralayas are going to be there. How many janmas are going to be there? Every time it will be like small, that that. If you see that time scale, our one janma is going to be like what? Like a firefly. You know what is a firefly? What is a firefly? And then immediately. So it is born, glow, die, born, glow, die, born, glow, die. If you take that time scale, whatever we are doing in this one janma, what you call as 100 years, is nothing other than born, glow, die, born, glow, die. Sahasra yuga pariyantam, you will continue. How generally categorized now he has made it. Samajh mein aa raha hai? Okay. Then, so he says, what happens? Avyakta, now he comes to the bigger scale of things. In between this, what happens? Avyakta and Vyakta comes. Unmanifestation and manifestation. Why? Whenever it is night of Brahmaji, everything goes to a unmanifested form. Whenever it is day for Brahmaji, everything comes to manifested form. Among the manifested, you have Janma Maranam. In the unmanifested big period, you have completely frozen like that nut. So that much time already is gone, huh? There also. वहाँ opportunity भी नहीं है किसी को. ब्रह्मा जी का डे में opportunity है if you get मनुष्य जन्म. Okay. Now, so to give that clarity, he says from avyakta to vyakta, it keeps on going. Okay. Bhuta gramasya evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. Having come and lived and gone, after going it comes back again. Ratriyagame vashah partha prabhavantyah ragame. After the night, that means after pralaya goes, from the unmanifested everything comes to manifestation. Okay. Then he says, now understand. All this whatever I am saying, there are how many types of, so in Brahmaji's Srishti, how many types of things are told? Brahmaji's Ahar and Brahmaji's Ratri. What is Brahmaji's Ahar? Manifested world, manifested cosmos. What is Brahmaji's Ratri? Unmanifested. Now Brahmaji's Ratri, unmanifested cosmos, is it Brahman? Yes, no. Brahmaji's cosmos has got two types, manifested and unmanifested. Brahmaji's cosmos, which is manifested, is called what in your common parlance? Prakriti. Which Prakriti? Prakriti is a very generalized term. The world which I perceive through my five senses. What is Brahmaji's unmanifested? No. What is that unmanifested? During Pralaya, what is that unmanifested state called? That is Prakriti. That is Prakriti in the unmanifested form. Unmanifested is Maya. Getting? Manifested is the world, which I can even imagine. Okay. When I am awake, just imagine Brahmaji. We are all Brahmajis. When I am awake, I open my eyes, my ears, nose, jnanendriya, karmendriya, all working. That interaction with that world is manifested world. Yes. Then when I go to sleep, I get a dream. There also there is a world. Is it a manifested world or unmanifested world? If you are Brahmaji and Brahmaji's dream, it is a manifested world or unmanifested world? Your dream is manifested or unmanifested? Then why will Brahmaji's dream by such a doubt? Huh? Why so much of doubt in Brahmaji's dream? That is why about your dream and Brahmaji. To put that concept of unmanifested is like a dream of Brahmaji, which is not a reality. सपने में आया था, हकीकत है क्या? नहीं है. मैनिफेस्ट हुआ है क्या? नहीं है. ड्रीम में मैनिफेस्ट हो गया, वापस अनमैनिफेस्ट हो गया जब उठे आप. समझ में आ रहा है? So how many worlds are there for Brahmaji? Manifested world and the unmanifested world. समझ में आ रहा है? That unmanifested world is that potential world which is called Maya. That manifested world is what we called as this Srishti or whatever is which is manifested across, when we have a reference that we can even imagine it. Is it clear? Okay. Now he says there are two items here already. Manifested and unmanifested one. What is manifested? What is unmanifested one? Brahmaji's dream ka Maya, Prakriti. After waking up and after a dream, is there any other state you have? Only two states. Jagrat. What is Sushupti? In deep sleep, what is there? Is there a manifested world or an unmanifested world, or both are not there? Then what is there? I am there. What is there? I am there because I am the sleeper. Correct? So, in this unmanifested, there are two. Unmanifested one and unmanifested two. Manifested is very clear, wake up state. Then in the dream state, you have a unmanifested one, which is Prakriti. What is unmanifested two, which is deep sleep? What will be there? Are you able to get that? That is why he says, Paraha Tasmat. Among these two, which is beyond that, Paras Tasmat Tu Bhavonya. See the way it is told. Beyond these two, you can logically imagine these two. Correct? Beyond that, what is there? That is why this example of dream and sleep is given, deep sleep. Then you can understand, oh, I am there. Same way, Brahman is there. Now, if you say, at what period Brahman alone will be there and this unmanifested and manifested will not be there? Buddhu, that is impossible. Because at all times, to say that unmanifested is there, also I am needed. To say that manifested is there, also I am needed. So I am always there, irrespective of time. Confused or clear? Huh? That means this blessed Brahmaji Srishti is coming under the purview of time. What happens with time? Unmanifested becomes manifest, manifest becomes unmanifest, and it's only with time this change is happening, which is related to Prakriti. What is beyond that, which is not manifested, which is unmanifested, is Aham, the Brahman, which is beyond the time now. Are you able to get this? That is why he says, Tasmat Paraha, Parat Tasmat Tu Bhavaha Anyaha, which is not these two. Please understand, there is one more. Are you able to get this? So he is clearly driving that beyond these two now. When you, the moment you say Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram, these words, are it you putting some boundary or are it you putting somewhere a limitation to that concept called Brahman? When I give a quality, you visualize it. Unknowingly you have to visualize it. Samajh mein aa raha hai? Okay. So when you tell it that way, you are giving it a boundary. Then when you are coming to Brahmaji's Srishti, all has got time boundary. Some have got space boundary, but all have got time boundary. Right? Now he says, which is beyond time and space. That means he is, through the concept of boundary, he is asking you to look at something which doesn't have any boundary and is all pervading. Are you able to get this? Paraha Tasma Bhavaha Anyaha Abhyakta Sanatana. avyaktat sanatana. Among the unmanifested also, see, manifested is a very limited one. Unmanifested is much, much more. It is like how you know, I have certain thoughts which I understand. Oh, I am thinking about this, I am thinking about this. Then there are tons of thoughts which I am not aware, but I know is coming and going. That is that potential. Then I have I, who is a witness to this thought and this thought, which that without that I, these thoughts never exist. Are you able to get this? So he's bringing that concept by, that is that Nirguna Brahman, which cannot be bottled as Kavim, Puranam. That Nirguna Brahman, you have to understand it, that which is at every time, every place, everywhere, it is there, irrespective of whichever Brahmajis, whichever Kalpa, doesn't matter here, because you cannot bottle it on time and space. Why? Why you cannot bottle it on time and space? Why it cannot be? Why can't you say? See, the moment you say Puranam, what is this word Puranam? When you say age old, what is your reference?
There's a reference to time.
Which is very age-old, will always be a
Finite or infinite?
Finite.
समझ में आ रहा है? The moment you say Puranam, you are going to refer to some period which you believe that is the start. It is not defined, but you put a closure there. इसका आगे का सब पुराना, इसका पीछे का even I can't imagine. That is why these words have got boundary limitations unknowingly of time. And that is why he has to bring it beyond that. And this is one of the very, very special way the Upanishads and the Vedas bring it out. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha. This Purusha with thousands of head, finite or infinite? Sahasrakshas Sahasrapad, finite or infinite? Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva, finite or infinite? Atyatishtat Dashangulam. Atishtat Dasha Angulam. It is beyond this 10 angulis. Finite or infinite? Purusha evedagam sarvam yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam, all finite. Okay. Utamratasveshanaha yadannena dhirohati etavanasya mahima ato jyayagascha purushaha padosya vishwa bhutani. That whole what you are thinking of this finite is the feet of that Purusha. Slowly, where is it going? To infinite. Now I don't know the other boundary. Padosya vishwa bhutani tripatasya mritam divi. Bhutani is the leg. 3 foot is Swarga. Now, what has happened? One side you have made it finite, the other side you have kept it open. Are you able to see the way they are slowly bringing it from a finite to an infinite, finite to an infinite? And this is there in our Dhyana Shloka many a times. Both this finite and infinite concept is always brought by our Shastra in all our karmas, especially in Dhyana Shloka. Tell me one finite Dhyana Shloka and one infinite Dhyana Shloka. Or some will be even mix of finite and infinite. The word itself will tell you, oh, this is an infinite word, this is a finite word. Any Dhyana Shloka, anyone knows. Shantakaram. Keep telling finite or infinite. Shantakaram. Finite or infinite? Give me that answer. Shanta akaram. Finite. Bhujaga shayanam. Bhujaga means Bhujanga. He is sitting in that coil, the snake bed. Finite or infinite? Huh? Padmanabham. Coming from Nabi. Brahmaji is coming through the Kamala. What is that? Finite or infinite? Suresham, Suranam Isham. For all the Suras, he is the king. Finite or infinite? Vishwadharam. Vishwasya Adharam. Finite or infinite? Correct? Very clearly the word is talking finite. Gagana Sadrisham. As big as the Gagana. Now Gagana becomes finite or infinite? No, Gagana is finite. Because what you see Gagana is only what you will call it as Gagana. You will never imagine the clouds or the atmosphere of US when you are sitting in India. Gagana, when you see it, it is that finite view which I can see. Okay, if I am sitting in the open ground, it becomes bigger and bigger, and I can imagine it bigger and bigger, but still finite. Think, if you are in an aeroplane, finite, very long, but still finite. Meghavarnam, finite. Shubhangam, fully finite. Ufpadau, Ufpadau, the earth is the feet. Semi-finite. One side you are putting boundary, other side you have opened. Ufpadau yasya nabihi viyadasuranilaha chandra suryo janetre. Viyat asuhu anilaha chandra suryo janetre. Viyat asuhu anilaha means what? Chandra suryo cha netre. Anila Chandra suryo cha netre. The eyes are Surya and Chandra. Now are you referring? If you imagine a face where this blessed sun and the moon is going to be the eyes, how big that face has to be now? Are you able to make it finite or infinite? Starting with the focus of a finite, it now spreads out to infinite. Are you able to understand this? This is the beauty of using those words to make you suddenly go from this angle to that angle. The finite to infinite, finite to infinite. Because unless you get into infinite, you cannot go from Saguna to Nirguna. Are you able to get that? And hence, it is a part of this Dhyana Shloka that you have to now mentally get into that framework of going to infinite. Sarva Vyapi. Are you able to get that? Okay, like that every shloka when you see, there is a finite aspect words and there are infinite aspect words. Semi-infinite aspect words where one side you bind it, the other side you keep it open. Because that's how you cannot suddenly jump from a finite to an infinite. You need to go and get into a semi. That is why all this concept of going from Saguna to absolutely Nirguna cannot happen. There has to be a grey area where the gunas will keep reducing. And for example, I have a Shiva photo, then I get into Shiva Linga, where now it is finite, it is Saguna, but still it doesn't have parts, it is Akala. Then you slowly remove that also. So you have to go very, very gradually in this process. Then only that mind can go step by step into various, and it can be established there. Otherwise it will imagine, unknowingly you will put a figure of a finite and imagine infinite. want to know a classic example of putting a figure of finite and imagining infinite. We do it very easily and very fast. I want to know, I want to imagine the infinite, but how do I depict it? Will be finite. That means I have bottled myself into that finite figure in the name of infinite without being infinite, without mentally going to infinite. Every ISKCON book of Bhagavad Gita will show Vishwarupa Darshanam, which is supposed to be infinite, as a finite object. Why? There is Srishti behind it. Are you able to get that? So we end up depicting infinite as a finite one. So what happens? As you see and as you hear and as you perceive, our mind fixes up that only. We are already conditioned. We are asking to decondition. For deconditioning, we are bringing a concept, calling it deconditioning, but still further conditioning. Only thing is, out of this small vigram, now we are thinking of that big but finite. Samajh mein aa raha hai? And this we should not do. And that is why he says, Parastasmatu bhavo. He did not give any other name. If I say Brahman, you will objectify it. The moment this word Brahman, because please understand, either Nama, Rupa, Guna, either of the three, or Karma, you will objectify it. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma, if it is there, objectification has to happen. Unknowingly. Then how do you communicate without Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma? And that is that unique way of keeping it bound at one place, opening it out. Or telling that if this is the boundary, beyond that. If someone says, where is Pakistan? And if you tell, beyond my LOC, then it is for that person to understand where is the next boundary of Pakistan. That is their headache. But it is beyond my LOC. The moment you tell what happened, you have cut one side and kept the other side. Are you able to get this? Clear? That is, see, the way Manasa, Vacha, Karmana is a very strong thing. What we think only will come in our mouth. Those type of words only will come in our mouth. From these words which come in our mouth, it has to reflect what thoughts we are going to take. And if you have to use the right words, then the thoughts will automatically change. And that is how he is bringing this concept of that Nirguna Brahman, which is Paraha. So if you consider that as that big unmanifested, beyond that there is something. Is it Vyakta or Avyakta? Next question. Very big problem of this. Is it Vyakta or Avyakta? What is Vyakta? Manifested. Is it manifested or unmanifested? Another one, we can have a charcha here. Brahman is manifested or unmanifested? Huh? Brahman is unmanifested or manifested? If you say manifested, then you have a problem. Brahman is manifested or unmanifested? How do you know which is manifested? You need to know, how do I define this is manifested, this is not? This is manifested or not? Yes, manifested. Why do you say it is manifested? Correct. The five senses, pramana, gochara, iti pramana. Pramanyam. Shruti pramanyam, pramana gochara. It has to be perceived by my five senses, or the knowledge should come from any of the sources of knowledge which is validated. Okay. Shruti pramanam is also considered in that, because hearing is one of the okay. Now, Brahman, does it come in this category? Agocharaha, then I will ask, how did you call it Aprameya? Are you getting? Did you understand the question or bumper gaya? Aprameya comes now, second chapter over. Sarva Pramana Agocharaha. It cannot be perceived by any Pramana or any senses. Okay. So from that principle, Brahman is manifested or unmanifested? Not manifested. Because if it is manifested, at least there will be one Pramana, at least there will be one senses. If you say Akasha, at least one senses is able to understand Akasha. Yes or no? I am talking very simple, not a tough one. Very simple. Now, if you say it is unmanifested, you cannot agree to it. Can you tell Brahman is unmanifested? How do you defend? Brahman is manifested if you say we are defending it through Pramana saying that no, it is not Pramana Gochara, so Brahman is cannot be called manifested. Very clear. There is a logic, we have closed the topic. Which means what? Brahman is unmanifested. What is the logic? Can you put the same logic that none of these Brahmanas are able to manifest, get into it, and hence it is unmanifested? Say something. Is it so difficult? Whatever the answer is doesn't matter. It doesn't have any guna. So it is manifested or unmanifested? It is manifested. If it is manifested, any of the Brahmana should be able to tell that.
This Prakriti.
Huh?
This Prakriti is the manifestation.
Huh? We are talking of Brahman. Don't bring Prakriti. So, Aham Brahmasmi means what? There is manifestation. You are saying Aham is manifested. Sir, इतना tough try question नहीं पूछने का. If you tell me it is manifested, I will only put a logic. Which of your indriyas can understand it? Which of the pramanam can understand it? Very clearly, our Shrutis and everything have told that Brahman is aprameyaha sarva pramana agochara. So I am winning that very clearly. Okay, now you tell me it is unmanifested. Do you agree to it? If it is not manifested, it has to be unmanifested.
It cannot be destroyed or it cannot be
So, build on it. You are right. So, come to the topic of manifestation and talk there. Other gunas of Brahman is not going to help here. The moment he says tasmat, paras tasmat tu bhavonyate, there is something beyond this manifested and unmanifested prakriti. There is something beyond. Means what? What? Related to manifestation, what is it? Whether it is manifested or unmanifested. It is unmanifested. Then you will not know about it. Then you will not know about it. If you say
Not to sense organs.
not, then that is manifestation.
Then so we cannot know through sense.
No, so it is not manifested, that is clear. But can you call it unmanifested? The reason why that nothing is coming from your mouth, try to understand why you are not able to, as much as you are able to say it is not manifested very clearly, why are you not able to talk about the other one? There is something holding your tongue. What is holding that? I am there, it is there everywhere. How can I say it is not manifested? Which pramana I need to know that I am there? Tell me which senses I need to know. Because senses cannot reach that, it is sarva pramana agochara, I call it not manifested. You mean to say I am unmanifested? Nonsense, na? Then what is it? It is beyond manifestation and unmanifestation. Why? Manifestation is a product of time. Manifestation and unmanifestation is a product of time. This is beyond that. So you cannot answer such a question when it is asked. You have to say that it is the sakshi for manifestation and unmanifestation. How can you call it unmanifested? How can you call it manifested? It is a sakshi. It is always there. It is independent of time. So this is the one which doesn't come under the purview of manifestation and unmanifestation. He trick you all by telling what? If it is not manifested, then is it unmanifested? Oh, now I am stuck. I don't know how to defend it. That is why I gave that example. Parastasmat, it is beyond that. Where are you trying to bind it by this Brahmaji's manifestation and unmanifestation, which is a Prakriti related, and this is beyond that. Are you able to get this? Aham iti sakshat, that Chetanatvam, what needs, even at the comma stage, at the inner sense of yours, will not you know that I am alive, I am there? Who needs to tell you that? Because you know you are there, are you going to say you are manifested? Answer is no. Because you cannot express it out, are you going to say it is unmanifested? Answer is no. Because you cannot bundle it within the framework of manifestation, because it is beyond that. Are you able to get this? This subtlety is brought in this particular shloka. Parastasmattu bhavaha anyat. Beyond. That is why the shloka goes that there is beyond the unmanifested, there is one more unmanifested, the way it shows up. The way it is showing is among the unmanifested, you know one unmanifested. Why? We have already said that when Brahmaji's Ratri comes, there is unmanifested. That is one. This is beyond that, there is one unmanifested. That unmanifestation as a concept is told by Krishna as what? Being able to mentally imagine as manifestation and unmanifestation. Within that boundary, he says, think of something which is further unmanifested than this unmanifested. Sukshma, sukshmataram. Subtle, subtler than subtle, subtlest of the subtler. When I don't know subtle itself, then where is the question of subtler than the subtle? Then subtlest of the subtler. You are only trying to say it is much, much beyond that. You cannot give a qualification to it, because the moment you have told subtle, anoraniyan, smaller than the smallest, sukshmat sukshmataram, mahato mahiyan, bigger than the biggest. Are you able to get this? This is how Upanishad will start explaining it. That jhalak he has given here. Parastasmatu avaha. Are you able to get that? Thoda. Now 9th chapter has come. Slowly we have to tune ourselves to get into Upanishads also. That framework should come. It is not going to be that Rosie, Arjuna, Krishna sitting and come on, start fighting. That games are over now. More or less it is over. Because if this framework is not there, you will struggle in 10th chapter and 11th chapter. Because you will put everything into a framework. We are used to putting in framework. From our childhood, everything is personified and put into a framework. And here we are trying to say open the frame. There is no frame to it. Okay. So first imagining or not even imagining, understanding Bhagavan as all pervading, from where space and time has come. Tasmadva etasmad atmana akashas sambhutaha. Akashaha sambhutaha. Sambhutaha is time element, and from that with time akasha comes, means time has come before space. That is how the meaning will go. So from Atma with time akasha comes, means what? Time comes first and then space. And time is not at all our Panchamahabhutas. Think. So now you have a dimension which we are referring to, which is not even the Panchamahabhutas, but it is embedded inside. Statements, whenever we make statements, the time frame gets embedded into it. And that is what he is trying to refer to, that go beyond this time. That means Kalatrayepi Tishthatiti. What is that? Kalatrayepi Tishthatiti. Tapobodha, nothing else. Sat. Sat kim Kalatrayepi Tishthatiti Sat. So he is now referring to beyond time, which is at all the times, past, present, future, which is already present. Sakshi is what? Is that one. Paraha. Are you able to get this? Okay. It's a very, very nice, sensitive way of taking Arjuna inside. Hopefully you all are understanding it and taking it in the right way. Doesn't matter. Okay, where are we now? 6th chapter. Let me go back to 8. Parastasmattu bhavonyat avyakto vyaktat sanatanaha. What is sanatanaha? What do you mean by sanatanaha? No? Always there. Present at all times, beyond the time. Avyaktat and vyaktat. Tasmat paraha, between this which is beyond that, which is a Sakshi to the Vyakta and Avyakta, and is Sanatanaha, beyond time. Yaha sa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Okay. Yaha tu sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati saha tasmat avyaktat anyaha avyaktaha sanatanaha paraha bhavaha asti. Says, beyond that unmanifested, there is an unmanifested being which is eternal. Okay. It does not perish when everything else perishes. Samajh mein aa raha hai? That means it is now Sakshi of everything. It is a witness consciousness of everything. Okay. Or Nirguna Brahman, if seen as a third person, if seen as yourself, you call it Atma. Are you able to get this? Okay. That eternal, which is a witness to all this manifestation to unmanifestation. And Nashyati means what? Going from manifested to unmanifested is Nashyati. Yes or no? What is Nashyati? Going from manifested to unmanifested is Nashyati. Who is a witness to even Nashyati, उसका नाश कभी नहीं होता है. जो नश्यति का विटनेस है उसका नाश कैसे होएगा? And it is general. If you say I am the witness of someone else's nashyati, tomorrow you will be into nashyati and someone else is the witness. Here it is a generic statement that for all the vinasha, visheshena nashyati, he is the sakshi. He is manifested to you or not? No, never, because I can only see his Leela and Maya everywhere, but I cannot see him. I can feel his presence everywhere, but I cannot see him. How do I feel the presence? 10th and 11th chapter will show that. Are you able to get this? I can feel his presence. बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहं बलं बलवताञ्चाहं कामरागविवर्. Everything will start getting into that specific things. Saguna. That guna is me, other than that nothing. But whenever that is told, we have boxed it. Problem is, whenever it is told, we have boxed it. This type of statements very rarely come in Bhagavad Gita. And you cannot box it. Correct? You cannot boundary it. Okay? Right. Now, sorry. Yeah. So, 21, 22, 23 or 21 and 22 at least. This reference has come in the 11th shloka. If you remember, I told this. 11th shloka, last line is Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravakshe. I will tell you in detail. He has given a pratigna. Sangrahena, the way you will understand it, I will tell you very clearly what is that Aksharam. So now comes, he is going to tell what is that Aksharam in the next two shlokas. Avyakto-kshara ityuktaha, avyaktaha aksharaha iti uktaha. Now he has already given the explanation parastasmatu bhavonyat, and now he says that is Akshara. He is not going to say anything new. He has already explained everything. He is only going to connect it and say that is that Akshara which I told you. Now I will tell you. मैंने बोल दिया. Okay. अव्यक्तोऽक्षरमित्युक्तः तमाहुः परमाङ्गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः. Repeat. अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमाङ्गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. अव्यक्तः अक्षरम् इति उक्तः तम् आहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तत् धाम परमं मम. अव्यक्तः अक्षरः इति उक्तः तम् आहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तत् धाम परमं मम. यः अव्यक्तः भावः अक्षरः इति उक्तः तं परमां गतिम् आहुः ज्ञानिनः यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तत् मम परमं धाम. This is how it will be. Yaha means what? That means which? What is the reference? The moment you give that, this and all, you have to know which reference. That avyaktaha. Which avyaktaha? Parastasmatu bhavonyah. That avyaktaha aksharaha iti uktaha is called aksharaha. Now you understand? That paraha bhavaha which I told you. That paraha is called aksharaha. Iti uktaha. Tam paramang gatim ahu. Reaching that is only the main objective, is what has been told by the Shruti and Smriti and the Jnanis. Yam prapya na nivartante. Yam prapya, having sought, na nivartante. One cannot come back. Tat paramam dhama asti. That is the final goal, what should be achieved, or the final place where you have to reach. Are you able to get that? So he says, that aksharam which is told. Now what is that aksharam? That aksharam is, the Upanishad gives more beauty very nicely. Yattad adreshya agrahya agotra avarnam achakshu ashrotram tat apanipadam nityam vibhum sarvagatam sukshmam tat avyayam yad bhutayoni para pashyanti dhira. This is how he is explaining. Upanishad gives beautifully, Mandukya will give. Yattad, that which is adreshya, which cannot be seen, agrahya, which cannot be held, you can't hold it, agotram, which doesn't have any gotra, avarnam, which doesn't have any varna, achakshuhu, which doesn't have eyes, ashrotram or sight, or which cannot hear, tat apanipadam, which doesn't have hands, legs, which is nityam, ever evident, always there, vibhum, all pervading, sarvagatam, vibhum means very big, sarvagatam, all pervading, sukshmam, subtlest of the subtle, tad avyayam, which can never perish, yad bhuta yonihi para pashyanti. Hey Dhira, the teacher calls the student, hey Dhira, oh strong student, understand this is what we are referring to and nothing else. So all the gunas are given as nirguna without personifying. Just giving only the guna without a person is like making it infinite, without binding it. If I tell you, this item is sweet, this item is sweeter than this, all binding. The moment I tell sweetness, no binding. Are you able to get that? So it goes in that way to give that subtlety part that you are not binding it with it. And that's how the Upanishads will take. All the Upanishads will take it very beautifully that way. And Bhagavad Gita will not take it. So he says, that is called akshara, which parastasvatu bhavaha anyat sa eva akshara, and that aksharam taddama paramam is the final goal. Having reached that, no one can return back, because there is no need to return, because you actually do not go there. It is only a verbal statement that you are having reached there, you don't come back, because you don't go anywhere. It doesn't come to you, you only realize it here and now, and hence your quest dissolves. The quest which you had does not get a solution, it dissolves. So if the quest dissolves, there is nothing left. The answer is there so far as there is a question. If the question itself is dissolved, you don't get an answer here. The quest dissolves, so there is no way that the doubt in that question or something will come back, because it's completely gone there. It has lost its identity. Completely gone. Are you able to get this? And that is what he is saying here. Once having got that complete knowledge, and once you are with it, in it, by it, whatever you want, you put the vibhakti. That is why for this there is no vibhakti, sir. Vibhakti is breakup. Of me, for me, or on me, nothing, only first person singular, aham. No vibhakti can be worked here. Because that is independent of time. The rest are bound with time. So you remove that time part. First person singular. Okay, and that is Asmi. And is it clear? Okay, so next he says, Purushas Parta Bhaktya Labhyastvananya Yasyantastani Bhutani Yena Sarvamidam Tatam, and he gives it that Purushaha, or what is called Avyaktam, or what is called the Nirguna Brahman or Aksharam, he is giving a clarity on it, and then he says how to reach that in the subsequent shlokas. So, starting from 23 to 28 are going to be the two paths in Prayana Kale, where one will attain Aksharam, the other will come back to Bhumi. The two paths are given here, Prayana Kale. And with that the chapter will end. Is it clear? So we will continue with Purushassaparah Partha Bhaktya Labhyasvananyaya, the 22nd shloka. We will continue in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸರ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
धन्यवाद सर.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.